Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I am Gerry. That is Edward. So, even on a day like today, we still have to do the news. It's all going to come from the same place. You're going to notice some trends here, people. Okay? It's all going to be similar in its topic, in its tone. All right? So let's go ahead and dive into it. First of all, Koeman's post-match comments. Let's just dive right in here. He sounded like Martinez. I think everybody will agree with that.
What did he exactly say?
He basically, after a game like the Burnley game, he was talking about how many positives he took from that. All right? He basically he wasn't that typical Koeman thing where he just kind of calls people out. It was just like Martinez did after a loss in a game that we probably should have at least drawn. All right? He was more upbeat than anything. All right? That's exactly what Martinez did. All right? It was very blinders on not actually addressing the situation as the supporters see it. All right? So, what's your comment on that?
I'm surprised he didn't use the word phenomenal. Yeah. I think... I don't know. Maybe he's trying a different approach now. Where he was before was sort of like silencing a lot of players, sort of like pushing them out of the squad. So maybe he's trying a different approach now. Maybe he's realised it makes him look too much of a prick. So he's trying to be a bit nicer.
It's possible.
Which worked for some players. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's all I got on that, really. It's just too Martinez-esque, in my opinion.
Is there a chance... Now, I'm trying to see this from other angles other than the one that I feel, okay? But is there a chance that he's being serious, that result, that 1-0 result, he actually doesn't feel that the play dictated that result, and he actually sees progress? Is there a chance, or is he just blowing smoke up our arse?
In all fairness, I think it was much improved on other displays, because at least we tried. It looks like we tried. So there is progression, but maybe he's just trying to sugarcoat it. We don't know.
I will say
we don't know.
I will say I wasn't as angry against Burnley as I was against Apollon.
No.
I was angrier for that one.
Yeah, I suppose so. But, I mean, I was still pretty mad, but at the same time, it was Burnley. And Burnley are a difficult side once you go 1-0 down to them.
Yeah.
Like, they will literally just drop off and just go.
Second half, it was really tough for us to put anything on goal. Through the middle, they were just so compact.
But we shouldn't have been going through the middle. We should have been going out wide.
Well, that's the thing. Baines would go left or Martino would go right, and they would cross stuff in, but they could not find anyone. You know, that's like Baines would get the ball and he would go down the flank, and he would look up and see no opening, and he would literally turn around and kind of go like this. Because there was no one, nowhere for it. Now, to agree with your point, if he had someone on the left flank, maybe checking to him, maybe allowing Baines to overlap, something, maybe it would have done something to kind of get Baines closer to the touch line or to the end line. I don't know. All right, but yeah, that was the plays that really. Players' reactions that I saw that really were indicative of attitude were Baines making those runs and coming up shrugging his shoulders. And there was one play that Williams killed me. He got the ball, middle of the field, everyone in front of him, and he actually slows down. And we're down 1-0. He slows down to a walk and stops. Okay? Where's the tempo? Where's the urgency? I realize you want to be patient, but you have to force play on them sometimes. You're down 1-0 to a team that defends well. All right? You have to play quickly. You have to, if you didn't already have a fast tempo, it's got to be faster now. You know, I did not understand that. Anyway, so that rolls into the next question. Koeman says his players are still behind him. They still support him. You are at Goodison week in, week out. You see, you go the game. You are there. You witness it. You're so close to the players. What do you see? Do you see that that's true?
Some of them, yes. Some of them have given up with him, by the looks of it. Well, no, I lie. 20 minutes, they looked determined. But then as soon as that goal went in, heads dropped. Pickford actually looked up for it. He did. He looked like he was trying to get people on, you know, let's go. Come on, we can do this. Come on, it's only Burnley. We can do this. And then just others were just a bit like, we can't do anything now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I actually last night as I was going to sleep, I was, because my brain, I have the obsessive brain and I can't stop thinking about certain things. I actually thought, I was like, if I fielded a team of Everton players, of players that seem like they want to be there, would that team actually work out? Would it actually be a squad that could win games? So I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? Okay. Pickford, Kenny, Keane, Jags, okay, Baines, Davies, Sigurdsson, Vlasic, Nias, DCL, and I'm missing one more. Lookman. Throw Lookman in there. Okay? I think that team could still win. Those are players that care. And you got a bench of like Holgate and Clausen and Sandro, who, let's be honest, Clausen and Sandro, maybe not quite ready for prime time, but they want to be there. Okay? Those are players, they do play guts out when they're out there.
Rooney as well.
Rooney should be in there, definitely. He cares. Now, I think he's going to have to continue adapting his game because he doesn't have the pace he used to. But he's a smarter player now than he was when he was younger. So this is a squad that could win. So
possibly.
That's what tells me it's possibly a mentality thing. I think it may be all mentality. You know? And that's why this question about the players supporting him is super valid. Because you remember Martinez's, of course you do, Martinez's last few games? Do you remember that?
Yep.
We had kept him hanging on. We had kept him going when we should have maybe let Unsworth take over before the cup. The cup, was it cup final against Man U? Okay? All right? And that game against Sunderland where the players just completely... All right, that was awful. That was maybe the worst Everton game I've seen. It was just sad. All right? That's what it looks like. And it gradually gets to that point. It's not to that point yet, but it gets there when it's totally, when you're hitting the bottom of the barrel. Is it going to take that? Will it get there? Will it get there? Should we let it get there? You know what I mean? We're gonna get more into this later, but I mean, that's what it looks like when players completely stop supporting, when they don't get your back anymore, when they don't want to be there.
Right, so it's sad really that that's what it has to come down to as well, when the players don't play for the boss anymore. It's sad. It is sad, but that's the way it works now, isn't it?
But that's the question. Do we feel like that's actually what's happening? And you're saying you feel like it's kind of a mixed bag. There are some who are out there. They believe in the mission. They believe in Koeman, and they're going. And then there's others where they're just like, I don't know about this. So
Because they've probably been frozen out or treated badly by him.
that's a thing.
But he doesn't seem to treat his own signings as badly as others.
No, he doesn't.
If you've noticed at all.
I know. I agree.
Like Nyasi,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so let's last bit of the news. All right, Moshiri, our wonderful Moshiri,
Money bags.
who has all the money. He came out last night and I guess he grabbed the ear of his buddy Jim White and said that he supported Koeman. Koeman's got his full support. All right? Now, Moshiri usually reaches out to Jim White when he feels like Evertonians need to hear something, when he wants a message to be sent, mainly to Evertonian fans, to Everton supporters. All right?
Mm.
So is this a good move by Moshiri to come out there and
I have respect for him. He cares about the fans. He cares about the club. And the fact that this whole thing with sacking the manager for basically all clubs, if it doesn't go your way, you're sacking them. To come out and actually say, we're going through a bad time, but we care about you all because you lot are brilliant for the club. We are sticking by Coleman, 100% behind him for now. I think fair enough. He's come out and said something. He said what he thinks. May not be what everyone wants to hear, but in this day and age, that's earned my respect for him. I think he's a great guy. Dunno.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big problems that a lot of Everton supporters have with Everton the way it's run is they wish they knew more. Okay? I hear that a lot. And you see on Twitter people always tweeting about how one of the main places that they see that Everton needs work as far as their administrative and front office is concerned is their communications. They have to somehow figure out a way to make sure the supporters have a clue about what's going on. All right? And Moshiri seems like he's just sort of taken that upon himself because there's not really a system in place to do that kind of stuff. All right? So there are times where I don't agree with what he does. That time when he came out and he said McCarthy's part of the family. And, you know, that was I think it was last season. And that was a moment where I'm like, yeah, we needed to hear something, but we didn't really need to hear that. You know, that was something people were like, okay, yeah, right. So we decided not to buy someone because we remembered McCarthy's part of our family. Come on. You know, McCarthy's a good player. I like him as a player, but it was clear he wanted to leave at the time. All right. So but this time, this is a moment where I agree. Edward, I totally agree with you. I think we need to hear something. Whatever the opinion is, we need to hear from somebody at the club that gives us a clue, okay, this is where we're going. So right now, we know the front office is going to back Koeman, so we as supporters, a lot of us are grumbling. I actually still stand by the fact that I don't think we should let him go yet. I think we continue to give him a little bit of time because it's a common thing in football nowadays. In modern football, when things are not going your way, sack immediately. And usually when that happens, a lot of times it is with these clubs that really are not very stable. You know? And also, Koeman has, like I said so many times, Koeman has a possibility. He has a trend of turning things around. You know? He's done it in the past.
This is why I'm deciding to give him until end of November. If he does not do something by the end of November, then he should go. Because in that time, most of the injured players that we've got, like Funes Mori, I think, don't hold me to it, but Funes Mori, Barkley, Coleman, Balassi should all be back in the squad. They should be
awesome.
finished. They're in. They should be recovered.
Yeah.
Apparently, right? Don't hold me to it, but that is when they should be back around that time. So, if it is to do with the personnel that we've currently got and the injuries, then fair play. I could forgive him for that, but he's still got to adapt. If they come back and we don't win any of these fixtures that we've got home against Watford, we've got home against Arsenal, away to Brighton, and away to Leicester. If we do not get 7 points out of those, so if we don't win against Brighton, that's going to be a big thing because they've not got their main striker. Arsenal, I reckon we could probably overturn them if we turn up on the day. Leicester probably could be a hard one. I reckon we could probably get a draw in that one. And home at Watford, if we don't get a win in that, I'm sorry, but something has got to change. And if he's not going to be changing his tactics or anything like that, then he will have to go. But I'm going to give him until the end of November. See what happens.
And the crazy thing, Edward, is I feel like he's trying to change his tactics slowly. I think he's actually changing tactics, and that makes me worry that it's not about tactics. Seriously, and I don't even know what to do about that. I mean, other than sack. But I don't have a deadline. I mean, you got a very definitive deadline. I don't really have one yet. I'm thinking I want to, if we can get a little bit more than 20 minutes of good solid play, then I'll feel a lot better. But right now I'm feeling like a lot of other Blues. I'm down, but I'm probably in the minority, and you are as well. Let's hold on to him for a little while. Let's see what he does. Let's see what the team does, because that's what it's really all about. Let's see what the team does. All right, so that's it. That's it for the news. All right, if you're digging the videos, please subscribe. You should check all this stuff out. Subscription enables you to be able to know when our videos are coming. Click the bell, ring the bell, all right, to make sure that you know when you got a new Toffee Blue view. Also, check out Edward's channel, Everton Vlogs, FIFA Vids, and a whole lot of Edward. Edward, any parting thoughts? You good?
Hopefully the next time we do this, we'll be happier.
Yeah, indeed.
But we've got internationals now, so
yeah,
that should be fun.
All right, that's it. Thanks so much.
Adios.
We're out.